Hello everybody, here a new video from Renee from Spain. And in this video I want to show something different. I want to show some great comeback albums. Bands that were not active for quite a long time and then later they released a new album. And I got some quite interesting ones. In total 5 bands for this video. I just saw some other people on the vinyl community and the CD community making a video like this. So I thought I'm gonna make one too. And it's always quite interesting, to see what other people pick out. People talked about Venom, the Cast in Stone, 96 when that album came out. Or Merciful Fate, a comeback album, Into the Shadows was a great album too. But I'm going to show some other ones. The first one I want to show is an album that was released. I wrote it a little down here, some dates, in case I don't know the dates. Lizzy Borden. This came out in the year 2000. And of course, it was a comeback album for Lizzy Borden. They released a couple more after this one. But this is such a great US heavy metal album. It's so many great songs on it. I really love this. And yes, and the last one they released before this one was this one from 1989, Master of Disguise. Another great album. That's why there was 11 years between this album and this album. The next band is The Exploited, that came back with a great album in 96. Really like a metal punk album, much more metal than punk. And I'm talking about Beat the Bastards in the year 2000. 1996. In 1990, they released The Massacre. That was the last album they released. There's a gap of 6 years between these two albums. That's why this was a great comeback album. And of course the band released another one after this one. And I compared them a little bit with Agnostic Front. Agnostic Front also stopped releasing albums for quite a long time. And then they released Another Voice. I don't know exactly when that was. I think 2004 maybe. That was a great comeback album. And of course I compared them a little bit. Also because Another Victim, by Agnostic Front is also a very metal album. More than hardcore. Now a Spanish band, actually one of my favorite Spanish bands, speed metal. They were speed metal in the 80s, later in early 90s. Later they developed more into heavy metal, but still with speed metal elements. And I'm talking about Eluete Hinete. That came out in 2013. I think I didn't write it down. In 2013 this came out. But before that, in 2001, they also came back. They not came back because they had Peligro Imminente just 2 years before this one. But this one is a great album, Corazón de Metal, from 2001. But this one, Eluete Hinete, was the comeback album. And this is the last album till day, that you can find of this band. Great heavy metal. And of course, there's a song dedicated to Ronnie James Dio, in 2013 they did that. Okay, 2 more to go. I'm gonna start end with this one, but Accept came back with a great album. The last album they released was Objection Overruled. I have it on CD. I picked the wrong album out of my collection. Anyway, with Udo, Objection Overruled, 86. Sorry, I'm confusing here a little bit the thing. Objection Overruled came out in 93, and it was the comeback album, because the last album they made was this one, Eat the Heat, but it was with a different vocalist. The last time we found UDO on an Accept album was on Russian Roulette from 86. So it's a great album. I love this album. pure heavy metal, German heavy metal. So many great songs on here. Protectors of Terror is great. Slaves to Metal. I mean, I love it. I love this album. It was a great comeback. And after that, they made some more. Death Row, Predator, and then UDO left forever. And now we have Tornado in the band. And the last one I want to show is the Exodus, that released this underrated but very strange sounding album, Force of Habit. They released Force of Habit back in 1992. But then in 97, they came with this live album done with Paul Baloff on vocals. And then he left, and then they released the real comeback album. Like this came out in 2002, 2003. I think 2002. I think this came out. Yeah, 2002. You know, Temple of Damned. That's why it's like this came out in 92. So you're talking about 10 years difference between these two studio albums. So many more great comeback albums came out, you know, like in history. With Plush came out with a great album, you know, after many years without releasing anything. I'm thinking also what the other people showed, you know, so comeback albums. Yeah, there's a lot of comeback albums. But I just wanted to show these 5, and maybe in the future I'll make more videos, maybe like this. Okay, stay metal, everybody.